All right. Um, so in order to change the layering of things and how they sit on top of each other, there's this thing called Z nudging. Um, so what you want to do is like click on whatever you want to move around. Say I want to move the beak backwards, so it's like behind shit. You can click on stuff. This is a good way to kind of navigate. Click on something and then you press O when your mouse is like over this view, and it will take you directly to it. It's pretty useful. Um, I've rebound mine to Q, so I can, I don't know, it's just easier for me to press, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's O by default. Anyway, Z nudging, you got to do it in this thing called coords and, what is it, coords and control points, and it's this window down here that we locked away. When I was setting this thing up, I'm like, oh, I don't even know what that window does. I'm just going to put it there anyway because this guy told me to. But yeah, this is actually really useful. So it'll be, if you're still using the same layout, it'll be underneath here. So you just grab this tab and bring it up. And once you've got it up, you only deal with this part here, the position. And yeah, you can like bump it forward and backwards in space. And depth in the image is on the Z plane, so that's what we'll be adjusting. So what you want to do is you want to move it in tiny increments, so it's not obvious, like, so it's not changing size dramatically, because this is a 3D plane. If you push something really far back, it'll just get really small and far in the distance, and that's not what we want at all. There's a way to get around that. Well, there's two ways, but we'll just stick to this one. So if we want to move it back, we want to go into the negatives. So you go negative and then a really small increment, like, something like that, 0, I don't know, like 3 or 4 zeros there. And then you just press enter and it's pushed it back, and you haven't had to like mess with the layering of the pipes or anything. And if you want to reset it back to default, you just go to like 0. And this works as well if you want to bring things forward. You want to do the same thing, but yeah, without the negative. And this cumulative Z thing here tells you, so you want to do this on the peg and not the actual drawing, because it can get complicated if you're adjusting Z depths for drawings and then the pegs as well, and then once you got the chain, everything's on like a different kind of layer and stuff. The cumulative Z tells you if it's been adjusted on both of them. It's like the total amount that it's been adjusted by, which is just, I don't know, good to know about. So yeah, you want to do it on the actual peg itself, and also know that every time you do this and this animation button is on, it'll actually like keyframe it. So you can actually animate the depth of things as well. That's possible to do. So you can have a different depth on each keyframe. So there's so many little things to explain. So this animate thing, you can either have animate current frame on or off. When it's on, it'll actually create keyframes when you move things around. So say if you make an adjustment on the Z depth, it'll create a keyframe on the current frame that you're on. But if it's off, for example, and you adjust the Z depth, it'll actually adjust that Z depth across all of these frames. It won't create a frame, but it'll just adjust the universal Z depth of that picture or that or the peg. So if you want to make an adjustment that affects the entire thing and not just a single frame, you have it off. And if you want to make an adjustment for that certain frame that you're on, and you don't want it to affect all the other frames, you have the animation button on. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I hope that clarified how to do this. Yeah, it's so fucking annoying that like this program, and it doesn't happen to everyone, but like certain keys just get forgotten. So like literally every time I open this fucking thing, I go to to things. Like I already know like off by heart now like what things it forgets, so I just go copy is one of them, I clear that. Paste is one of them, I clear that. Cut is one of them, I clear that. Duplicate is one I use quite often, and I know it's this one here, and I clear that. Shifting up and down the hierarchy is B, and it's called select that. What is it? Select child skipping effects. I do that. And this one as well. What else? Return is another one. Which is like searching for nodes and stuff in the node view. Yeah, and there's probably a few more too, but every time I open this program, I go through and quickly do that, so I've got the keys that I need. Anyway, yeah, hopefully that helped.